all these guys, all our major names in the camp, it doesn't matter if it's Demetrius Andre, Devin Haney, Gennady Golovkin, Anthony Joshua, Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, Josh Warrington, all these world champions. It's very difficult at the moment to pay them what they want to be paid and create a big event without the guarantee of live gates returning. So the later we go, the better. We have a date of early December for Anthony Joshua where we hope live crowds will return. And if they don't, then he has to box behind closed doors because he wants to advance his career. It would have been a year since the Andy Ruiz fight. Most fighters right now are having that 1 year layoff. It's not ideal for a career, and that's another thing with Dillian Whyte. He's taking a risk not just against Alexander Povetkin, but he's taking a risk financially as well, with the upside of the show. So that shows you he's up for it, and Anthony Joshua wants to fight as well. Of course, every fighter and their agent and their advisor wants to get paid as much money as possible, but also they want to make sure they can keep advancing their career and going in the right direction. And Anthony Joshua will fight this year, crowd or no crowd, and that will be early December, most likely against Kubrat Pulev. Usyk's another problem. Tyson Fury's got the problem of Dillian Whyte or Alexander Povetkin, and AJ's got the problem of Alexander Usyk. So I think AJ would quite prefer Derek Chisora just to stick one on Usyk's chin and take that problem away, and of course the focus for the majority of fight fans is to see the Undisputed Heavyweight World Championship, and that is the focus of Anthony Joshua. That's why I said before, he wants to win the WBC World title. He does want to fight Tyson Fury, but moreover, he wants to fight the guy who has that belt, and that's always been Wilder. Now it's Fury. If it's Dillian Whyte, he'll want to fight him, So we have to try and find a way to maintain our belts as well. And that will be difficult for us to do because the WBO want the winner of Pulev against Joshua to fight Alexander Usyk. So, there's lots of different permutations, and maybe Joshua against Fury's for no belts, and just for the calling of the best heavyweight in the world. Who knows what's going to happen? We all want all the belts to be on the line. So maybe you see Joshua fight Usyk if he beats Chisora, in spring, summer of next year, and then we do the Undisputed fight after. So it's very important to Anthony that the belts are on the line. I'm very excited to be part of what would be our first show over that side of the world. Never been to Australia or New Zealand, so it'd be nice if we were allowed. Targeting November, December for that fight. It's a great fight for the area, for the country, for the region, because obviously you've got two New Zealanders there, both in their primes, and it's a really, really good fight. So I'm sort of advising from the background, but I'd like to make sure I stay out of the way of Lou DiBella and David Higgins. I mean, can you imagine being in the middle of that? So we're ready, we're supporting it, and I'd love to see it happen later this year. Brackhouse against McCaskill was fantastic. I think it was a great show in Tulsa on Dazn, and I feel that it was a very close fight. One of those fights where when the bell went, it's like, do you like, probably the better craftwomanship and the better timing of Brackhouse, or do you prefer the rough and ready style and the aggression of McCaskill? And clearly the judges went for the aggression of McCaskill. So I think Cecilia's interviews, which was incredibly classy after, sort of made me feel like she may retire here. I think the feeling after a few days is I'd quite like to do the rematch. So I think you will see that rematch potentially later this year. Katie also, had a plan to fight Cecilia Brackhouse. That could now shift to fighting Jessica McCaskill as well. McCaskill's done great. She gave Katie Taylor one of her toughest fights at lightweight when she was a novice, really, and then went up and unified at 140, then become undisputed at 147 pounds. She's got a great story. So I'm just really excited and buzzing off women's boxing and the ability to make these big unified undisputed fights. So we'll see if Brackhouse rematches McCaskill.